This week on SailAway.
It's been so long, and this is what we need, and I'm freaking out. Cool. And of course it's about to rain, or it is raining. Just ready for this part to be over. I think everybody is.
It's been over 2 years since Ophelia had 2 functioning engines. That's all about to change.
So meet me on that island, kiss me on that shore. Hey, promise me that we'll sail away, and I'll be yours forevermore.
Most boatyard visits have a laundry list of boat jobs to get done. But at the top of most of those lists is usually one King Kong, do or die, it's the reason we're here job. And we're about to cross ours off. So here's the situation. This is the opening, obviously, for the engine room. While the bell housing, the widest part of the motor, technically can fit, it's by like 1 millimeter through this hole. So what we're gonna do is cut this whole lip off. It's frankly easier solution than and less risky than taking a whole bunch more parts off the engine and have to put them back on down in here. So this whole thing, I'm gonna cut this all the way off. And I'll try to do it as cleanly as I can using a very thin cutting wheel. And this will give us quite a bit more space, top and bottom, to lower this thing in here kind of vertically. And then let me show you what I got set up down here. This is a nice big chunk of fiberglass, and it's very solid, especially up there along that seam. So I'm going to drill a couple holes up in there and lead this piece of Dyneema up in there and use that as a pick point, because this was my first idea and I think it's just going to be a little too low. But I think if I can get it hanging from right up there and dead center, then I can put this block and tackle on the other pick point on the other end of the motor. So once we bring it down through the hatch and it's hanging kind of vertical, get it turned around the right direction, hook that one up, and we can start putting tension on that one to sort of level it out. It's going to pull this one right up against here. You can see that's how they did it when they pulled it out too. So we'll have the aft one coming straight down and kind of leading this way. We'll have that one pulling from the other direction to kind of level it out without having to use just like pure brute force, which is how it came out.
Up, Cap.
Okay. Because the problem is, you know, that brute force is not great for this setup because it has to move so far forward and because we have this big bulkhead here. And I'm not real keen about cutting that out. I think we're just better off trying to suspend it using a combination of a couple guys back in here and then one more person kind of back in this area, you know, hauling in on this tackle. It's 5 to 1. So I think that will be enough to get us, you know, to pull that weight. It's stripped down at the moment, so the motor's probably under 400 pounds. It's like 450 normally. So, you know, each of these will be holding about 200 pounds. That's not terrible. And I'm going to put the motor mounts from the previous motor right back on it. Theoretically, very theoretically, everything should then line right back up the way it was before, since it's the exact same model of motor. Yeah, if that'll happen in practice, I guess we'll find out.
Rivers, guess what today is?
What? Christmas?
No, not Christmas. Guess again.
I know it's not my birthday. Engine?
It's Engine Install Day!
I know that.
Today we are dropping the engine in. Got everything ready, I think. Talked to the crane driver yesterday. Pretty straightforward, theoretically. But really inexpensive and really nice guy. 800 TT, which is about $120 US for the crane to come and lift it all the way from the ground and give us time to maneuver it down in and forward. Dave, our friend, is coming over from Big Bandicoot. That's Chris and Marley and Fleur's dad. He's gonna come give us a hand with a little bit of muscle down there. The driver's wife also works with him, so she'll be up here giving instructions, and then Lauren will be...
Aren't they coming like
10 o'clock, yep. And Lauren will be videoing and or jumping in to help, depending on what is going on, what we need. I think I've got a pretty good method figured out. It's at least a good starting point, and the ending point might just wind up being brute force at the very end there to get it nestled into its spot, but we'll see. It's going in there one way or the other. Lauren's taking the extra precautions, otherwise, so our Starlink doesn't get smashed and our steps don't get smashed.
Yeah, why create more problems when we'll just be easy to take this off? It's been so long, and this is what we need, and I'm freaking out. Cool. And of course it's about to rain, or it is raining. Just ready for this part to be over. I think everybody is.
get rid of like
Yeah, let's go straight down for a few. I might have to come this way a little.
and then push fast.
Yeah.
You can't just place. You can't just place. Hold on. Wait, no.
All right, give me just a moment. I'm gonna put those motor mounts back on. As I mentioned before, we had a pretty narrow opening to deal with even after I expanded it. There's no way the motor mounts could stay on.
Up just a bit.
But once it was lowered in, it was a pretty easy job for Dave and I to put them back on so we could get ready to sit it on its perch. Okay, now this way, all the way to the edge. Okay, hold. Sadly, both our engine room cameras got knocked out of whack, but the block and tackle worked great.
Hold. Go ahead.
Once we used the crane and the block and tackle to get it over the bulkhead, it was easy to lower onto the rails, almost in the right place.
Cool.
Alright, that's it.
Amazing.
Not even that dirty, it's crazy.
Yeah, you are.
Wow,
Yes, you are.
it's all relative.
Okay, so that's all in.
It's sitting on the rails, we just gotta get it up past those aluminum
Yeah.
spacers, so we can slide it backwards. It's sitting in front of them right now.
So if I were to run to the grocery store and buy you guys beers, that would be cold ones.
Yeah.
Even though it's 10:30.
I mean, that's
Yay!
not Indian, but that went pretty good.
Yay!
Oh, you're not having one? Oh.
I don't feel like I should have a beer first thing.
What are you talking about? This is the Caribbean. Cheers. Oh, sorry, I tried to touch you with the camera.
You're delirious.
I am. I'm delirious with joy. I just told him that I could probably crawl in bed now and sleep for 2 days straight without moving. That's how much stress
is gone.
Yeah, that's how much stress I was feeling about getting that thing in there. So we got it in the right position. We didn't nick anything up, didn't smash any fiberglass or screw up any prop shafts or rip off any filters. It's sitting where it's supposed to be. I'm gonna take a breath, and then I'm going to go start putting things back together and get the transmission on and the new shaft seal, shaft coupler, and all that before solidifying all the motor mounts, just to make sure everything is lined up correctly. But it looks like it's going to sit pretty much just like the other one did. So here's to a 1030 beer in Trinidad. All right, y'all, here we are. I can't quite express how happy I am right now. Couldn't have gone better, honestly. Just so rare that things go off without any hitch whatsoever. I mean, hitches are fine. Sometimes you just gotta figure out solutions on the fly, and that's normal. That's boats. That's life. That went off without a hitch, man. Just freaking amazing. Such a relief. It would not have worked if I hadn't cut that lip off, and even then, man, it was tight. We're talking 1/4 of an inch on either side. This was sort of key to the whole thing. That, and obviously help from friend, because muscle is always a big part of it. But this turned out to be a huge factor. So that Dyneema just loops up through, basically underneath the aft bed in that cabin by my office. But once we got the motor right here, we hooked up that block and tackle to the forward pick point right there. And once we did that, kind of squat right here, haul in on that, and then use my feet to shove the engine this way. And Dave was back in here kind of keeping it aligned and pulling and pushing. And between that and, you know, a whole bunch of instructions to Dale, the crane operator, which shout out to Dale, if you ever do come to Powerboats and need a crane, go talk to Brent at the office or any of the people at the office and tell them you want Dale. Super cool guy, man. Very laid back, very nice, very friendly, and really reasonable. But he drove that thing so well. And it took, you know, a little bit of grunting and finagling to get it over this lip here without damaging anything, you know, without setting it on the oil pan. We were able to do it, man. It kind of suspended, and we got it right over it, and we wound up sitting it down right in front of the two spacers that it actually needs to sit on, because it was just easier to drop it right there, and it had cleared the propeller shaft at that point, so there was nothing for it to hurt. And once we did that, we just slid a couple of chunks of 2x4 under the aft motor mounts so that we could then just kind of shove it forward, and it would slide right onto those spacers, the aluminum spacers. So yeah, it's sitting right in its spot. We got one bolt in one of the forward mounts up there, and that's all I'm going to do for now. Like, everything should bolt up theoretically identically to the old one, but I'm not going to do too much of that until I've got that shaft coupler on here, which means I can get the new shaft seal on this side. So for now, I'm just rebuilding the motor, putting the I gotta put the heat exchanger manifold unit back on. I gotta put the alternator back on and its bracket. I took the whole bracket off. Those are the main things. And obviously it's all about getting it lined up exactly right, getting all the hoses hooked up. The wiring harness for this motor appears to be an exact fit to ours. I haven't tried it yet. I'm down here. I can do that. Let's check. Let's see. So, let's see here. Kind of tucked things away so they wouldn't get snagged. So there's motor end, the motor side, and the side that leads over there. And, you know, I need two hands to put it together, but yeah, that you can tell that's a fit. It's not a fit, you'll hear about it. So that's pretty cool, and that's what we were hoping, you know, because they, again, exact same model of engine, just a good bit newer. This is a late 90s, but we were kind of rolling the dice a little bit that everything would sort of just plug and play, and it looks like it will. Gonna have to get a battery. Our battery was very old, so that went. But we've already got a brand new battery for the generator and a brand new battery on starboard, so I'm gonna go to budget and buy the exact same matching one for this side, and we'll be all batteried up. All right, that's enough yammering. I'm gonna start screwing in some bolts. Almost forgot.
Most important part.
When the waves and the
Matters.
ocean